Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay and I am your host. We have some breaking news and we're about to go into a press conference on the shooting of the Minnesota lawmakers. Can I get a 2x4 in chat? Hello, Mr. Cole. My favorite viewer is here. My day's complete. We have some wild stuff going on with this Vance Boelter. And Truth Bomb pretty much filled us in chat if you want to read the chat. But this guy has links to walz. He was running or worked for a security company, worked in several countries. It's very weird, but we're about to go to a press conference. So let's tune into, this is NBC News now. Oh my gosh. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Angie B. Thanks for coming in and moderating today. You guys come on in. We're going to be live probably later when it gets dark with what's going on out in the country. But right now we're going to tune into NBC. This is Vance right here. But I'm going to read Truth Bomb's comments real quick. Democratic workforce employee by two Democrat MNB governors, including walz. Two Democrats targeted, voted against Minnesota health care for illegals this week. And in my short video that I made, the woman actually was in tears the other day talking about that bill. She was very upset about it. He works or runs for a security company, and he had access to the cop vehicle and the cop gear. But what's wild is they have him as in state records as a volunteer and being the general manager of a fucking gas station. But then he's got this self-described bio that is major. Listen to this bio real quick. Take a listen.
His bio that is listed on the security company's website. It says that Dr. Vance Boelter has been involved with security situations in Eastern Europe, Africa, North America, and the Middle East, including the West Bank, Southern Lebanon, and Gaza Strip. He brings a great security aspect.
Say what?
Forged by both many on-the-ground experiences combined with training by both private security firms and by people in the U.S. military. He's worked for the largest U.S. oil refining company and the world's largest food company based in Switzerland. And it says, Vance has focused all this experience to make sure Praetorian Guard Security Services covers the needs you have to keep your family and property safe. So we're seeing...
So that's from the security website. Now, the security address comes back to a home. From what I've heard, the latest. Let me see if this didn't start yet. No, it didn't start yet. But this is inside the vehicle, what they found inside the vehicle. Who thinks this guy could be like CIA? I mean, I know I'm putting on my tinfoil hat right now, but this is some weird shit, man. This is some weird shit. And this one lady laid on top of her daughter so that her daughter didn't get shot. It is Proud for Mom. Welcome in, Nash. Welcome in, Simplify. Okay, listen to some more. Listen.
At least this self-described bio on a website, but that doesn't seem to match exactly what we're seeing on some of the government forms where he's been a volunteer serving on a state board. In those cases, it always listed him as working as being like the general manager of a gas station.
Oh no, something's definitely wrong here. Something's definitely wrong. Do I think we'll get the truth? Probably not. Hey, Ed Wallace's socks. I don't think we'll get the truth, but I think this is wild. Listen, I think this is some wild, pre-planned. Look at, here we go.
No, a
Look
major break as far as just kind of the the information.
Look at him in the cowboy hat.
In the 12 hours, you point out, since
Vance Boelter.
And Maggie, we're seeing this as we're getting ready to kick up that news conference.
Let me
there,
kick up the audio
in
for you.
Minnesota.
Speaking
This
of
is
kicking
some
up.
of the graphics that the
This is
officials
nuts.
have on standby to bring up. And
Cheryl,
we
he
see
had a
now as they
list.
enter the room, different officials.
No, it's not one lawmaker. He shot it. He went into 2 homes and he had an entire list of other lawmakers.
Are out there, as well
Something's
as
up.
2 or 3 photos, and then this one on this screen, as we see officials arriving.
All right, here we go.
Shows what seems to be the suspect.
Hey, Fax.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Jacobson.
Hi, Bob.
I'm the Commissioner of Public Safety, and it's my honor to serve in that position. We're here today to give some updates on the current investigation. First off, I would like to thank the law enforcement agencies and the public out there who are being vigilant, our law enforcement partners who are watching out for others in our community, the understanding and patience of the public.
How did he
as
get away,
we
too,
work to
you
find
know?
this individual.
He was on foot
and
and
bring
got
that
away.
person to justice. We know that it's been a
I
difficult day for not only those who have worked with those legislators, but it's also a difficult day for those in the state of Minnesota who are working through this terrible tragedy. Today we have a few speakers who are going to, again, give some updates, and we will be available to answer some questions once all the speakers have had that opportunity to say a few words. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent
They
Drew
say
Evans
he
of
was
the
alone,
BCA.
yeah. They say he was alone.
Thanks, Commissioner. And today we are asking for the public's help at this point in time in locating Vance Luther Boelter, who is a 57-year-old white male who's 6 feet 1 inches tall, 220 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. I know this name has been reported in the media so far, and we are confirming as a person of interest that we are looking to locate in relation to this. At this time, we would ask the public if you do.
And we continue our coverage, and
Quit
we are going to be
talking.
using the signal and resources of CARE, our NBC affiliate in the area.
911 immediately with the information. Ones with brown hair and brown eyes. I know this name has been reported in the media so far, and we are confirming as a person of interest that we are looking to locate in relation to this. At this time, we would ask the public, if you do locate him or see him, to call 911.
Well, no
Do
shit.
not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous, and you should call 911 immediately with the information. He was seen last this morning wearing light-colored cowboy hat that you can see up here in the clothing there, with dark-colored long-sleeve collared shirt or coat, light pants, and carrying a dark bag. If you have any tips about
Sorry
the
about that.
whereabouts or any information that would be helpful, you can call local police department, or you can call our BCA tip line at 877-996-6222, or email us at bca.tips@state.mn.us. We still don't know if additional people are involved, but this individual is the one that we're looking as a person of interest right now. But there may be other people with him, and we would like to speak to anybody that may have had contact with him at any point in time. So please connect with us, even if this has been some time ago today, so that we can follow up and continue to work together to keep our communities safe. And we, as the Commissioner noted, we'll take some questions at the end. But again, we are seeking the assistance of the public in locating him. I want to continue to say, as you see, there's hundreds of law enforcement officers working on this right now for the partners that you see up here today, as well from Champlin, Brooklyn Park, the State Patrol, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, FBI, ATF, just a myriad of partners working to try to locate this individual. And with that, I will turn it over to the mayor, and we'll answer questions at the end.
So hi, my name is Hollis Winston, Mayor of the City of Brooklyn Park. First, I want to extend my prayers to the Hoffman family, but also to the Hortman family as well. You know, there will come a time down the road for healing within us as a community, but right now I think what's required is a calming words and rhetoric. I want folks to make sure they listen to the facts from credible sources like law enforcement. but also to resist spreading misinformation. And then again, asking folks to listen to law enforcement in general when law enforcement has those specific asks. In Brooklyn Park and Champlin and our surrounding communities, in fact, the state, we're very much family. The Hoffman and Hortman families are very much our family. And so our prayers continuously go out to them. And it's very much a time for us to come together as a community and as a family. And I think people need to see it that way. I want to thank law enforcement, Governor Walz, Commissioner Jacobson, Sheriff Witt, FBI, various counties, local law enforcement. Even with our city of Brooklyn Park, we're seeing a ton of local law enforcement and county law enforcement just supporting our city overall. And we want to thank them for doing that. They're dedicated to keeping us safe and to securing justice. I would say to support them again, if you have information, there'd be information behind me, please share that information. And again, please look and listen for valid information and share that. There will be a time to come together, and I think specifically for the city of Brooklyn Park and within our area, there'll be a time where we come together and we work through what we're going through now as a community. But I want to say this. You know, this individual did this to instill fear into our community, but they also wanted to create a distinct and singular point
Welcome in,
of
everybody.
view. When I listed all of that law enforcement coming together, that was really us as a state, as a community, from all different walks of life, coming together to work on what's happening. And I received calls from folks across the state, from all different ethnicities and communities as well, with an outpouring of support. So I want people to understand that as a city, but as a state, as a community, we're very much going to come together. We're going to see this through, and we're all going to work together to figure this out. So again, I want to thank our law enforcement, and I want to turn it over to the Mayor of Champlin Park.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Sabis, Mayor of Champlin, and on behalf of the City of Champlin, our Police Department, and our City Council, I want to extend a heartfelt thoughts and prayers to Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa
Tracy
Hortman
V.
and their families. We are deeply saddened by the senseless act of violence, and our hearts are with all those that have been affected. Our police department is working close partnership with state, local, and federal agencies to pursue this active investigation. We are incredibly grateful for their swift and responsible professional response and for the collaboration and commitment of every officer involved. We ask everyone to stay attentive, report anything that feels concerning, and most of all, continue to show kindness, respect, and care for one another. This is how we move forward together. And again, thank you all for being here. And again, I think Mayor Winston said it well that Hoffman family and the Hortman family are very much part of our communities, part of our fabric of our communities. And we really wish the families all the best. Thank you.
As folks have said, we'll take a few questions. Please don't forget to, in the first question, introduce yourself, your media organization with whom you're with, and if you have a question for a specific individual, call that out. Thank you.
Howard from Fox 9. Do you have an update on Senator Hoffman's condition?
The question was, do we have an update on Senator Hoffman's condition? We don't at this time. The last information we had is that he was out of surgery and was in stable condition at that time, but that certainly experienced significant injuries, so we'll have to continue to monitor that.
Janice Shortle, Care 11. You said person of interest, so not a suspect, or is one and the same?
One and the same for this particular case at this point in time.
Okay, so we can say suspect.
You can say suspect.
Thank you.
Is at least affiliated with some sort of security company.
Here we go.
In its own website that has highly trained security individuals. Can you speak to the level of knowledge this person might have about?
Don't say you don't know. Or, don't say you don't know, because you know.
That might separate him from a typical person walking down the street.
Yes, so the question was regarding the sophistication of the individual based on reports that he owned a security company. I certainly can't get into the details of the investigation. That'll all be part of that, and we'll explore all of that. We're aware of the connections that you reference, and the team will be dissecting that between the investigators, Brooklyn Park Police Department, and all of the state, the local, and federal partners that are working on that. Certainly, an individual will have some familiarity if that's the line of work that they're in with some of the tactics that you noted, but we'll be exploring that more fully.
He doesn't
One
know.
question about the photo that we're seeing in the cowboy hat and the jacket. Is that photo taken today?
That photo is today.
And is it from a Ring camera at the residence of either of our lawmakers?
The question is it from a Ring camera? It's not. This is from a business. So this is at a business location. And there, we believe, as noted, that we believe he's was still in at this time. He was in the Twin Cities area, and that we are continuing to work and follow up on that. We believe he's working to potentially flee the area, and so that's why we're sharing that with that information now, so that we can safely apprehend him.
Is there a way that you're in touch with the TSA? I know Governor Walz has been in contact with federal agents, as you have mentioned, with the FBI.
Yeah.
Are airlines, seeing his picture so he doesn't board a plane?
So the question is, are we in contact with TSA? We've been in contact with all of the federal authorities that are relevant to this investigation. We will continue to be.
Are you able to share the time or location that photo was taken today?
The question is, can I share the time and location? This was this morning when this was taken. It was in the city of Minneapolis. That's at this point, I think, all that we can share as we work to follow up on that.
Are there any surveillance or Ring camera video from either of the residents where the shooting's taken place?
The question is, there's surveillance or Ring camera. We do have various video from different locations. I don't want to get into specifics as part of the active investigation, but there is video that has been obtained by the investigators.
Appreciate it.
What about some of the other locations that you guys are working on, Green Isle, maybe including Minneapolis?
So
Yeah,
we
Nash,
can,
it's
the
scary
question
as
is,
hell.
can we talk about some of the other locations? Because our teams are very active as part of an active investigation, I can't talk about the specifics. What I will tell you is the two locations you noted in Minneapolis and in Green Isle, they are related to this investigation and the follow-up that the teams are doing.
Stay home if you don't have to leave. You live in the area.
Can you talk a little bit more about the manifesto?
The manifesto. Yeah, the manifesto, guys.
We're told that there might be some pro-choice lawmakers on this manifesto. Has anything to do with the motivations here?
At this point in time, it'd be premature. The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received, is their motivations? We are working diligently on that. There's certainly some indications within that, but there's not specifics enough. We have been, this is a very active and fluid investigation. Throughout the day, as you've been waiting and these teams have been out working out in the field, and they have been gathering more documents and information, so it would be premature for me at this point to really say exactly what the motivation might be from these writings, but we will be continuing to work on that and provide that information when we're able.
Walker Orsinger from the Star Tribune. Do you have a sense, did they know each other? Like, did this man know either Representative Portman or Senator Hoffman in any capacity?
The question is, did they know each other in any capacity? We are still exploring that. There's certainly some overlap with some, public meetings, I will say, with Senator Hoffman and the individual, but we don't know the nature of the relationship or if they actually knew each other.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, that's it, huh? Wow, that was it.
We've been listening in right now on a press conference from law enforcement, as you heard, giving us the very latest information on the suspect of the horrific shootings today at two lawmakers' homes. Sadly, lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband died in that shooting.
Okay, I'm going to pause them, and we're going to watch this really quick. This is the shooter's bio and the car being towed away. Watch this. Listen close to this bio on the security website.
His bio that is listed on the security company's website, it says that Dr. Vance Boelter has been involved with security situations in Eastern Europe, Africa, North America, and the Middle East, including the West Bank, Southern Lebanon, and Gaza Strip. He brings a great security aspect forged by both many on-the-ground experiences combined with training by both private security firms and by people in the U.S. military. He's worked for the largest U.S. oil refining company and the world's largest food company based in Switzerland. And it says, Vance has focused all this experience to make sure Praetorian Guard Security Services covers the needs you have to keep your family and property safe.
Do you think that that's odd? Oh, no, Sticky, you pulled it up. He had a Facebook, and it's already down? Sticky, they already took it down?
So we're seeing at least this self-described bio on a website, but that doesn't seem to match exactly what we're seeing on some of the government forms where he's been a volunteer serving on a state board. In those cases, it always listed him as working at, as being like the general manager of a gas station.
The major.
So state records show that he's been a general manager of a gas station, but then they have him all in Switzerland in the Gaza Strip. Jenny Boelter, she's wanted. They can't find her. Let me see. Here, she's got an Instagram. She's got an Instagram. Look at married to an awesome guy, blessed with awesome children. Believe all children can learn and love sunsets. Oh my God. This is too wild. Is that the hat he was wearing? Did you see that guy in the cowboy hat? Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Vance Boelter posted on social media that he was Red Lion Group CEO. On LinkedIn, Boelter also touted his experience on the Governor's Workforce Development Board. He was appointed to that nonpartisan board by Governor Tim Walz and former Governor Mark Dayton. His Facebook appears to be deleted, but his LinkedIn page is active. He listed the website for Red Lion Group, drc.com. This is it. It's gone. It's already gone. Jenny is the CEO on the website. Damn. All right, let's go to the LinkedIn. You don't get what, Amy? Dr. Vance Boelter, EDD. He's a he has his doctorate. He has his doctorate, but he works in security? I'm sorry, it ain't adding up to me. CEO, Red Lion Group for 3 years, 7 months, Democratic Republic of the Congo. General Manager, 7-Eleven. General Manager, Green Corps. Del Monte, Production System Manager. Operations Leader, Johnsonville Sausage. Supervisor, Nestle and Gerber. And this goes back to February of 1999. He went to St. Cloud State University, got his bachelor's. He went to Cardinal Stritch University, got his master's of science in management, and then he went to Cardinal Stritch University and got his doctorate in leadership. Vice Chair of the Employment for People with Disabilities, the Governor's Workforce Development Board, 2016 to present. He's been on that for 9 years. This is weird to me. I don't really know what to say. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is Cardinal Stritch University. Shelter in place has been lifted. Just now? Public records show only one Vance Boelter in the country. And meeting minutes with the state board refer to him as Dr. Vance Boelter. No. Who is this guy? He doesn't look American. Where's he from? Do you guys think he looks American? I think he looked, no, yeah, it's weird. Red Lion Group, personal and executive protection, provide both armed and unarmed security services, such as VIP, celebrity, hotel, estate, and venue security. Thank you, Sticky. Some weird shit. He's South African? He wasn't born here then. Fox News reported that Boelter, 57, is reportedly the CEO of Red Lion Group based in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Praetorian Guard Security Services. According to Minnesota Africans United website. Oh my God. Here's the website. Well, today's kind of a busy news day. I mean, I don't, this is beyond political stuff to me. I mean, this is a fucking guy that went into people's homes and killed them point blank. So here it is. It says licensed by the state of Minnesota. However, the news reported he doesn't have an individual security license. He only has this license through this company for security. Boelter? Okay. Have confidence that your home will be protected while at home or away. Praetorian Guard. What does Praetorian mean? Flo, thank you for the 5 memberships. Liz W. Nash Native. Tracy V. If cats have thumbs. And Deanna, welcome. Thank you for becoming a friend of the channel. Oh, it's all over YouTube and stuff, Angie. We are like no other home security out there. Praetorian Guard Security Services is residential, armed home security for your family, home, and property. We are licensed in Minnesota to keep your home, property, and those you love safe. Praetorian is Roman. Truth Bomb, you are just a plethora of information. We are proud to offer a team of security officers who are well-trained, diligent, and extremely detailed. I mean, this just doesn't look like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't look like a real website. And that car didn't have Praetorian on the side like this shows. You just got a membership, Nash. Look at the cop car. I mean, maybe they have unmarked ones that look just like cops. That's the Explorer package. This shit looks sus as fuck to me. This does not look real. Event security service with this guy playing the guitar. This shit doesn't look real. Roman Praetoria means handpicked veterans to serve to protect the emperor. He also worked for 2 funeral homes in their cremation services. What? An iron membership contract with Praetorian Guard Security Services is under $8,000 per year. That covers signage for your property, vehicles, weapons, guards, training, licenses, permits, and insurance. I mean, really, super low cost, super easy to use, super high impact. I'd like to know who their clients are. Where's the testimonials? Where's the testimonials? Here's the services. Coming soon? Come on. This looks fake as fuck. I know, worked as a manager at 7-Eleven? Come on. Come on. This looks fake as fake can be. Police, oh, here we go. Police type vehicles. We drive the same make and model of vehicles that many police departments use in the U.S. Yep, here we go. Currently, we drive Ford Explorer utility vehicles. Doesn't it, Buffalo Jill? Look at this. The safety of our Praetorian guards is equal to our customer safety. If you don't like our guards wearing the best personal protective equipment that money can buy, then this may not be the service for you. Is there a Google page or Facebook for it? Hold on, I'm not done going through it yet. Membership pricing. Iron membership costs less than $6.59 per month. Then we go to $12.80 per month, $18.72, and then $2,400 per month for the gold. 6 random armed patrols each week of your property. One-on-one security for trips. Oh, so they'll go with you somewhere. I don't know. Leadership team. Here we go. We've got Jenny, Vance, and Todd. Oh, God. Jenny brings years of organizational operations and logistical oversight to the team. She has served and continues to serve on numerous boards and has helped organizations reach world-class effectiveness. Jenny is ready to help your security needs get in order for your home and your property. Vance has been involved with security situations in Eastern Europe, Africa, North America, and the Middle East, including the West Bank, Southern Lebanon, and the Gaza Strip. He brings a great security aspect forged by both many on-the-ground experiences combined by training by both private security firms and people in the U.S. military. He has worked for the largest U.S. oil refining company, the world's largest food company based in Switzerland, and the world's largest convenience retailer based in Japan. Vance has focused all this experience to make sure Praetorian Guard Security Services covers the needs you have to keep your family and property safe. Todd brings many years of security experience and training to the team. He's a retired undercover officer. Really? His wife was an intern for Walz in 2010. Thank you, Angie B. Thank you for the membership. Proud Fur Mom, welcome. Welcome to the clickers. Whoa. He also has experience working alongside many government agencies, such as the FBI. Todd leads in making sure our security officers have excellent training, which offers our clients the confidence that their home and property will be guarded securely. I'm a retired virtual janitor. I'm a retired stay-at-home mom. Does that count? And that's it. That's the leadership team. And then contact here. So let's go here and we'll Google this again. Oh, excuse me. Yes, they do have Google. Let's see here. Oh, they have 18 reviews. Let's see. I contacted Praetorian on a Friday afternoon needing security for the weekend. In a matter of minutes, I received a response. Hilda Raquel says Praetorian Guards' commitment to transparency and pricing sets them apart. Used for a private event, they were wonderful. Praetorian supplies excellent guards for what I was doing. Film, television stuff. Jamal runs a tight ship, is very flexible and reasonably priced. Who's Jamal? I'm a foreigner and was on vacation in the USA. Only had good interactions with their security officers. And felt safe around their presence, like the kind you open on Christmas. Thank you, Jamal, for being so great to work with. Management is very unprofessional, to the point where they even refuse to pay their employees. Awful. 1 star. Then we have some other, I mean, these are old reviews. 2 years ago is probably the newest. A year ago. Oh, 4 months ago, Michael. But look at the map. This is where they all are located. Why are they by me? Oh, that's just security places. Fuck. Never mind. Here's Facebook. Why does this say St. Petersburg? Oh, hell to the no. Mm-mm. No way. I'm going to put Minnesota Facebook. Have they said where the new photos were taken from? No. I don't think they confirmed. See, look at this. Look at this location. Where is this? Yangon, Myanmar? The Yangon region? No, this is sus. Here he is. Here's the pictures. They didn't really show him in that. It does seem fake as fuck. I agree. And this isn't the first time that I've seen shit like this. When things like this happen. You're 7 miles from one and 9 miles from the other? Holy shit. Okay, so Mal, they said don't, like, to stay inside, right? I'm sure you know this. But if someone comes to your door and it's not 2 cops, they say don't open it. They say don't even open the door to them. Hortman's alleged assassin visited international hotspots. Has ties to private security firms. Plural. He's from Green Isle, and he is a suspect. We are confirming him. We believe he's working to flee the area. He was last seen this morning wearing a cowboy hat. According to his bio, okay, we went over that. See, there's the Praetorian cars. And there he is. So my question is, he was supposedly dressed like a cop. Did he change? He looks Syrian or Turkish, you think? You think? Okay, the cowboy pic is from this morning at a business in Minneapolis. He has 3 homes. His home is owned by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service? Holy shit. What's in his hand? Hold on. Let's blow this up. This is crazy. I was sitting here watching the news and I'm like, this doesn't sound right to me. I can't tell what's in his hand. Can y'all? What a freaking psychopath. A lot of people in the Minnesota government have homes owned by the government. The governor lives in a freaking mansion. But he's not supposed to be a government worker. He's proofing for the DNR. They get housing. He's what? Dark bag. His home is just under an hour from where the crimes were committed. Boelter is German? Well, he's from South Africa, though. His only criminal history in Minnesota is for minor traffic tickets, including speeding and parking violations. And Governor Tim Walz named him to the Governor's Workforce Development Board in 2019, which his LinkedIn said differently. His LinkedIn said it was longer, with a term that expired in 2023. In a post on LinkedIn in 2019, he encouraged people to vote in the election. I am very big on just telling people to be a part of the process and vote your values and be a part of this adventure we are all living. in the United States of America. I think the election is going to have more of an impact on the direction of our country than probably any election we have been a part of or will be a part of for years to come. His home is in Green Isle. Yeah, that's what I heard, that his wife was like an intern for the governor. Oh, wait, hold on. Here's his dad's obit. For anyone that thinks that, looking at obits is stalking. No, it's not. All right, so here's his dad. When did he die? 2013. Donald Boelter, 81, of Sleepy Eye, died Friday, September 20th, 2013, in New Ulm. Funeral services will be September 25th, da-da-da-da-da. So he was Lutheran. Donald is survived by his wife, Yvonne, of Sleepy Eye, daughters, Diane and Grug, of Sleepy Eye, Tori and Bruce, of Sanborn, Vaughn, of Lester Prairie. Wow, a lot of kids. Sons, Terry, Slayton, Vance, and 23 grandchildren and 16 great-grandchildren. Wow. So he was born in 1932 in New Ulm. So if this is his dad, he was born here. Why don't he look American? So his dad was baptized at St. Paul's Lutheran Church. He attended St. Paul's Lutheran Grade School. He graduated from Luther College in Decorah, Iowa. Got his master's. Donald taught school, coached, and was the athletic director. He was then employed as a teacher and coach at Sleepy Eye Public School for 31 years, and he retired in 89. He was named Teacher of the Year in 87. He also served on the Council of the St. John's Lutheran Church. He was the president of the Coaches Association. Sounds pretty normal. Donald and his wife Yvonne moved to Richmond in 89 on the Horseshoe Chain of Lakes. He was a member of the Painesville Lutheran Church. He also served on the Sauk River Chain of Lakes Board. He was united in marriage to Yvonne in 1953. During the summers, he was employed at his father's road construction business. He played baseball. Donald enjoyed coaching, playing baseball, hunting, fishing, gardening, golfing, playing cards, spending time with his family. Doesn't that sound normal? Sounds so normal. Look at this. A month ago, he wrote on LinkedIn, "Hi, everyone. I'm looking to get back into the U.S. food industry, and I'm pretty open to positions. Other leadership positions outside of the food industry, I'm willing to hear about as well. I have been doing projects in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Central Africa for the last 3 years with Red Lion Group." Two years ago, he wrote on LinkedIn, "I'm currently in the Democratic Republic of Congo working on several projects. If I'm slow to respond, my apologies, as some cities have better internet signal and others, and I'm pretty limited." He added, "Red Lion Group had a great meeting with the new governor of Congo Central to talk about private business projects that are all moving forward in that province. Some of our team will be staying a little longer in Washington, D.C. in March when we are back in the U.S. to connect again with the DRC ambassador about how our third trip to the DRC has gone. Everything is on schedule and within budget." What the fuck? 6 years ago, he encouraged people to vote. We just read that one. This is weird. Red Lion Group received NGO money. Here's Jenny's Facebook. Where's this? Yosemite Valley. She hasn't posted in a couple years. But there he is. 2013. Look. The Capitol. Look at the Capitol Dick behind him. So they were in Washington, D.C. This is strange. This is really strange. Oh, this isn't her? Are you sure? That was the wrong one? I guess that wasn't him. You're right. Whoops. Okay. Vance Boelter's Minnesota family. Meet his wife, Jenny, and their children. Well, his personal life, at least before this weekend, seemed stable. There's no public record of marital strife or domestic issues. I think this is an AI article, to be honest. He was previously, yes, Glitter, we read that. Urban email, Jay, what? Oh, there's a lot of financial fraud from government grants to food industry nonprofits. That would be an interesting rabbit hole to check out. Red Lion Group was involved in settling African immigrants in Minnesota. Yes, Facebook is gone, they said. Let's see what they're saying.
Which is a property that is owned by 57-year-old Vance Boelter. We've heard from our Joe McCoy, who's been up there at that staging area.
I want to see his house.
SWAT vehicles moving in. Unfortunately, like you said, obviously he was not there because we had the press conference giving us some more information about who to look for and what to look for. And we also know that there's another scene in North Minneapolis, and not a ton of information on that right now. The only thing MPD has said is MPD assisted with executing a search warrant in support of an ongoing investigation. And that's all we really know right now. So we know that there was a second scene in North Minneapolis connected to this in some way, shape, or form, but they're not even going that far in their release right now.
Well, and we are pleased to say it appears that the big
I'll be right back, guys. I gotta grab a drink
today here in Minnesota and across the country appeared to be peaceful, despite the fact that there was a lot of concern from law enforcement that they didn't have the capacity to keep people safe at that rally. Today, hundreds of people showed up for what was called the No Kings rally, and one of the things that was found in the shooter's car that was recovered at the scene in Brooklyn Park were several sheets of paper, just a stack of papers, and on one side, and they appeared to have been copied off, here you can see, that just said No Kings. So you can understand why law enforcement was so concerned about what might take place at that protest today. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that went to the state capitol to protest. Originally, it was for President Trump and against President Trump and his policies. It appears to have gone well and peacefully, and we understand that the vast majority of people have now dispersed from those protests and rallies. But yeah,
Green-eyed PI, how are you, baby?
That the alarm bells that were set off for law enforcement when they found that in the car, knowing that thousands of people were headed to the state capitol.
And at that point, not having any context for what that means, you know, and so it's, trying to piece everything together, but trying to keep people safe at the same time. I don't know if we want to go out. Is Morgan Wolf still available? And Morgan, you were there today as crowds started to descend on the Capitol, and then at one point, a different group of people started to approach.
Here's his
I know there were
family
some
right here.
tense moments there today, but as Julie said, this was quite peaceful and then broke up. What was the experience like today?
All right, we're going to mute her. This is him too? That doesn't even look like the same guy. Oh my God, I am freezing up bad. Are we breaking the internet today? Let me turn off my camera, see if that helps. Can you guys still hear me? Do we know if he had any contact with those shot? No, we don't. But he looks different there. This is Minnesota State Senator who was shot. Let's see. The photo is of flyers inside the vehicle. They called them flyers, but they weren't really flyers. So here's the distance between the two shootings right here. Champlin and Brooklyn Park. Yeah, YouTube has been a little bit wonky. Yeah, he does look really a lot different. Let's see if we've got any new updates. Do you guys think they'll catch him? I mean, he could be out of the fucking country. He could have gotten a ride to the airport and he gone. He gone. You guys think he's gone? Here, I want to show you these two shorts really quick. Let's finish watching this one.
Major update now confirmed by 3 people familiar with the investigation to NBC News that Vance Boelter, they say, is the suspected shooter who they believe ditched that SUV, took off on foot, and is now at large in the suburban Minneapolis area with this massive, you can see that SUV there being towed away, with this massive manhunt underway. Jose.
Let's look at that, Maggie, because that's the one that the suspect was utilizing.
Look at that car.
Yeah.
You see that? The lights on the top.
This news guy cracked me up. He said so many times that he couldn't believe this wasn't a real police vehicle.
There is look at that. And in the plate, you see the plate right in the front? It says police.
Right.
I mean,
and again,
this is, yeah. Let's take a look at that, Maggie. Let's look at that together.
Let's look at that together, y'all.
Folks, here it goes. Watch this.
Look at this thing.
Look at that. The back, there's some stripes there. You got the...
And it says police right on the front license plate.
You got the, I think the tag in the front says police, the lights on the top, and then there are some lights inside that are actually still moving. Boy, that top and bottom of the front windshield. Look at that. I mean, this is a...
It said police right on the front. So did he... I mean, what did he do here? Is it paper?
Top and bottom of the front windshield. Look at that. I mean, this is as close to a police SUV as you can get, if it's not one. And I'm glad we're showing it again. Let's look at it together. There's some numbers on the top right of the back of the vehicle. No, just those stickers on it.
I don't think he was on foot for long. I think he had a plan. I don't think he did this and didn't have a secondary plan if he had to ditch this vehicle, honestly.
Say this guy was dressed like police. He looked like police.
I mean, this is as close to a police SUV as you can get, and that's as close to you know.
I think it may be a police vehicle.
Yeah.
It looks like the police package for the Explorer, and they just don't sell those to anyone. And that's an integrated, when you look at the wheels, the tires, the front ramming. So I think maybe someone, he stole it or somehow got access to it because, like you said, I think it is a police vehicle. If not, he spent a lot of money doing that.
What do you guys think of that? A local reporter said they were paper. Unbelievable. Now, here is my other short about the lawmakers who were shot. Take a listen.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband. We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination.
Say a man impersonating an officer allegedly shot and killed Minnesota's former House Speaker and her husband in their home early this morning. Now, in a separate shooting, the same suspect allegedly shot and injured another Minnesota state lawmaker along with his wife in their home as well. Law enforcement officials calling the attacks politically motivated.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and
That's her.
We worked very hard to try to get a budget deal.
You see that? She was crying. This is just a few days ago. She voted against her own party in a bill, and she was very upset, and now she's dead.
That people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal.
The search of the vehicle, there wasn't a manifesto that identified many lawmakers and other officials. We immediately made alerts to the.
These are just a few of those instant reports when Marcos Lopez.
Okay, that was it.
We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy.
She voted She voted, and she knew she'd be a target. She was scared. She was upset. But there's got to be more to this story, y'all. No, Snowflakes, I completely agree with you. Call me crazy, but cops should have the same exact vehicle and no one else allowed to have it for this reason. I agree. Cheryl says hired hitman possibly. I mean, he's pretty sloppy if that's the case. You know what I mean? But if we go back, this is... Here, listen to this.
Brooklyn Park. So again, we're just getting all these details into our newsroom, as well as a report from Raya Katene, who was in Champlin, and said that law enforcement is now leaving the scene in that neighborhood, and they got a better view of the house because of it. And what she saw...
They actually sent a drone into the house to make sure it was cleared. She voted against health care for illegals. She voted for health care against illegals, for taxpayer-funded health care for illegals. She voted against it. She didn't want it.
Bullet holes.
She said we were trying to get a budget for that bill, but we couldn't.
In the door. And
oh, wow.
That's a
That's
stunning...
in Champlin.
That's in Champlin.
So that's Hoffman's house.
Mm-hmm.
So he shot through the door.
And
look at the
we
door.
know that at Hoffman...
Look at the door. He shot right through their front door.
House while the senator and his wife were both shot.
I mean, how could this guy get away? They had him in sights, y'all. They had him in sights.
Here are the images. You can see those bullet holes, just absolutely chilling.
That's a live shot right now.
And what we know is that while both the state senator and his wife were shot, the daughter was not. Their daughter, Hope, who's in her mid-20s. So I'm sure law enforcement have been talking with her. And
yeah, she sat on, she covered her daughter.
Who the shooter was.
She took the bullets for her daughter.
When he entered his home. But what a horrific scene to imagine in the middle of the night, the front door being shot up. And again, both the state senator and his wife are out of surgery and stable. We're trying to get updates on their condition this morning for you.
70 others,
Spotty? I understand right now, and I know everybody's wondering the
Yes,
same question. And we'll get to Raya in a second. How someone who shoots at police is going to escape through the back and then continue to run or hide somewhere and not be found within 6 hours.
Right.
Only once in my career can I remember.
Dude,
a
I'm with
standoff with
him.
police that ended
I'm
up in
with
the person
him.
literally running away.
Well, it's of course it was under the cover of night. He was wearing tactical gear, we're told,
Who
and I'm
knows?
sure it was chaotic and confusing for officers when they arrived on scene, and this man appeared to be a law
police
enforcement
officer.
officer.
That's right.
Raya is live in Champlin right now.
She was
Raya,
20
what
something.
a chilling scene when you see that front door.
It's just unbelievable, you guys. And now that some law enforcement has cleared out of the area, we're able to have a little bit of a better vantage point of this home that, of course, belongs to Senator John Hoffman and the front door. And what you can see, we're going to try to zoom in for you so you can take a little bit of a better look, is bullet holes right through their front door. We counted about 9 bullet holes right there. So like you said, it's just a chilling scene to be able to see and witness this. And I'm sure for the neighbors, you know, the ones that we've spoken to, it's just so startling. We're on 109th Place North. This is exactly where the shooting happened at about 2 o'clock this morning. We know the senator and his wife were both shot multiple times, and they were operated on, and they were out of surgery, and they are expected to survive. But again, I mean, just absolutely unbelievable, you guys.
Glitter, that is crazy. Todd Boelter, part of Praetorian. So he's his brother, Todd? Law enforcement officer, sergeant of 28 years, retired. Wild.
Well, Ryan,
Hi, Miss Sophia.
Spoke with some neighbors, I understand, this morning, and they were saying I believe it was you. I'm sorry if I'm getting 2 of our reports conflated in Brooklyn Park and Champlin, but I believe you're the one that talked to a gentleman who said there had been a fire in that neighborhood earlier this week, and he thought maybe that's what was unfolding when he heard an odd type of siren this morning.
You know, that I'm actually not too sure of. Maybe it was one of our colleagues that he spoke to. Somebody said that. But the neighbor I did speak to, and I've spoken to several at this point, but the neighbor that we spoke to actually said that he woke up to what he thought were the sound of fireworks at about 2 in the morning. And interesting.
I mean, look at the house. It's very mediocre. Local news just said he's still believed to be in the Twin Cities area. Thank you, Mal. Let's skip forward here to this part. This is another interesting part.
That the victims probably opened the door with the police lights on and everything else. Supposedly, the sergeant from that department had been over at the other shooting and decided to go check on the representative that lived in his town. And when they came there, they came upon the subject, and there was a shootout. So
what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They just decided to go check this other house and came upon him? Hold up. Hold up.
From that department had been over at the other shooting and decided to go check on the representative that lived in his town. And when they came there, they came upon the subject.
Say what? So they were at the first shooting and they said, oh, hey, I'm going to go to my town and check on my representative. And they came upon the shooter? Come on. Come on. Who believes that? Put a 1 in chat if you don't believe that shit. Come on.
A human being would be right chest level if you're trying to get to injure or kill someone behind that door. What do you see, Robin? And what are the questions that you have at this hour?
Well, at this point, I do think that the victims probably opened the door with the police lights on and everything else. Supposedly, the sergeant from that department had been over at the other shooting and decided to go check on the representative that lived in his town. And when they came there, they came upon the subject, and there was a shootout. So I'm thinking that they came up on the fake police officer, figured things out real quickly. If he engaged them, he probably fired at them coming to the house, and they fired back into the door. Because I just don't see.
We need to supply Gary with a tinfoil hat, y'all. Gary, I'll make you one specifically for you. It'll be in the shape of a mitten.
Like you said,
Gary, I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, dude.
3 in the morning, a police car comes up, someone knocks at the door, you're groggy, you're like, okay, what are the police doing here? I don't think, like, they denied him access and he shot through the door to the victims. I think that may have come from the encounter with the police who came over to that house to check on who they knew the representative lived there was. But until we get the exact details of that, it's going to be hard to figure out exactly what happened. But until we get the exact details of that, it's going to be hard to figure out exactly what happened. But that grouping kind of looks to me like he may have shot at the police officers, and they shot a decent group into the door. And they may have hit the subject. We don't know at this point, though.
Yeah, and that's Tom. I'm sorry. That's
Good question. Was the manifesto found at the first or the second shooting? The first, Or no, the second. That's where he abandoned the car. The second shooting. He wore a mask.
The exact details of that, it's going to be hard to figure out exactly what happened. But that grouping kind of looks to me like he may have shot at the police officers, and they shot a decent group into the door, and they may have hit the subject. We don't know at this point, though.
Yeah, and that's Tom. I mean, I'm sorry. That's what really is baffling to me, because our understanding, and again, we have to reconfirm that.
This guy cracks me up. I don't know who his name is, but he cracks me up in this.
That this scene, this grouping of bullet shots, bullet holes, is from the first house that officials arrived upon.
Oh,
okay.
And that is before they then went and found that suspect in the second location where...
Oh, okay. So this, what we're looking at, is the first scene.
The bullets were exchanged. We have to confirm that, but if it is, as we have been told, that this first moment, this house, where someone called police and said, I'm hearing what could be gunshots, that's what they came upon. So it's still a lot of questions, but what is it that you think police are now, and officials, I know that the FBI is clearly involved in this as well, but what is it that the focus is of right now? We're coming about 12 hours after the first phone call came into officials that they heard.
So the daughter called 911, correct?
Some gunshots. 12 hours in, this person is still not found. Now, we do have confirmation of who the person that police are looking for in connection with the shooting.
We're going to skip forward because that's old, but I want to go to the car, show you guys that.
Vehicle. It looks like the police package for the Explorer, and they just don't sell those to anyone. And that's an integrated, when you look at the wheels, the tires, the front ramming. So I think maybe someone, he stole it or somehow got access to it, because like you said, I think it is a police vehicle. If not, he spent a lot of money doing that.
And notice there's no name on the side of it like we saw on the website.
Yeah, Rob, tell me a little bit more about that, because, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, private security.
Oh, his name's Jose something. I don't know his last name.
Companies do have SUVs, and that they have, you know, these cars, and that they have the same wheel packages. But what here do you think, Rob, gives you questions as far as it maybe being more than just a tricked out private security company car?
Like I said, the police packages look, when you ad hoc it, they look ad hoc. They look like you kind of threw something together. And yes, security companies get that, but here's this one individual, the integration of the lights, the front bumper, the ramming bumper, when you look at the wheels, because the police packages have the wheels that can take a high-speed chase, so everything kind of looks really clean, as opposed to when you look at something like on the YouTube videos of these police impersonators, their cars look like they're kind of slapped together. The light systems aren't integrated that well. They don't...
See, he just confirmed what I've told you guys for years, that a lot of these people on YouTube are fake. You hear him? He brought up YouTubers.
When you look at the wheels, because the police packages have the wheels that can take a high-speed chase, so everything kind of looks really clean, as opposed to when you look at something like on the YouTube videos of these police impersonators, their cars look like they're kind of slapped together. The light systems aren't integrated that well. They don't have the whole thing set up. So when I first looked at it, I initially thought that vehicle may have been stolen. It could have been at a workshop where police vehicles get the vehicles fixed, and he somehow had access to it, or could get access. So I think that's what they're looking for now. They've run the VIN and figured out if it was his or if it was somewhere else by now. So they're on that lead of where he got that vehicle.
Rob D'Amico, I thank you very much. Really appreciate your perspective and your deep knowledge on this. I want to bring in Heidi Broussard. He is a former special agent.
Former special agent. Okay, so let's go to real time. And let's see what's going on here. He's now on the FBI most wanted list. Hold on, here we go.
We will have much more ahead right here on NBC News Now. You can also go online at NBCnews.com. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. We return now to our affiliate CARE in Minneapolis.
That front door, and there appeared to be what we counted about 9 bullet holes.
Is that him? Stop it. Is this supposed to be him? Thank you, Mal. Thank you for your super chat. Is this him? Are you fucking kidding me?
in the front door. Just an absolute, those are the two images that recently were released by the door, that front door. And there appeared to be what we counted about 9 bullet holes in the front door.
Who would think that that's a cop? All right, let me check my email. Who would think that that's a cop? He looks like Michael fucking Myers. What?
Just an absolute, those are the two images that recently were released by the FBI. And again, they're now saying there's a $50,000 reward for anyone that can lead them to this suspect who is still on the run right now.
Well, and you know that this is a person who is obviously very involved in politics, so knows a lot of people. There's hopefully hard to hide when you are that well known by people in this community. And this is a shot we believe we don't have this confirmed, but we believe this is like a Ring doorbell shot or some sort of security camera shot, potentially outside one of the houses. You can see he's dressed in tactical gear.
Thank you, Mel.
They do confirm that this is the suspect, but we know that the suspect.
The fuck? Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is weird. Mallory. I am shooketh. This doesn't even look like the same guy. This is wild. Thank you for being here, you guys. There he is again. See, here he is there. Looks like a totally different guy. I'm calling CIA op. He looks like Seeking the Truth with Dave. Oh, no. Like, who's going to think this is a cop? Who would think that's a cop? That is so scary. What in the pure fuck? And then that doesn't even look like his ass. I'm not trying to be a tinfoil hat, but CIA op is coming to mind. What is this? Stop. And he still has a pistol. Right, at 2 a.m. This shit's at your door in your neighborhood? Getting out of a cop car? And how come he doesn't look fat here? Because he ain't thin, according to this. Oh, I can't. So he's got the Merce. He's got his crossbody bag. Right. Oh, that is terrifying. Look at those eye holes. Yes, it's a total nightmare. Something is up with this. Where would he even get this idea? What a loon. Yes, it's a rubber mask. It's terrifying. I mean, this would be absolutely terrifying. And this could be anybody. He certainly doesn't look like a big man here. And that's him, I guess. In the cowboy hat. He's a big dude. Hold on. Look at his body, you guys. He ain't small. You don't think it's a mask? What do you think it is, Gary? Hey, jammers. If he had a mask on, why'd they let him in? I don't know. Yeah, it's like a whole head mask. Jammers, I would not open the door to that. Hell to the no. Here, I'll zoom in on it. Let's take a closer look at this terrifying mask. Look at the eye holes. That's definitely a mask. Look. It's even got like lumps on the head. He was layered in the cowboy pick. Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way down the neck. It's like a fake head neck mask that goes in over your entire head. But those eye holes, you can definitely tell. So where's the mask? If he was seen, he dumped the mask somewhere. Where is it? Because he was seen with that little ass fucking Merce. The dude had a Merce. So where's the mask? Where's all the tactical gear? Because look, he doesn't have it here. He doesn't have it here. He's got his bag and that's it. So where'd he ditch the whole head mask? Was he running from them in the mask? That's my question. Was he running from them in the mask? Or did he take it off and ditch it? Gary. Here's another one of the mask. You can really see the eye holes here. He's got like a flashlight. That is what nightmares are made of. Yeah, he could be hiding in plain sight. I just don't see how this dude outran the police. How did this dude outrun the police? I can't. I don't know. How are they going to know this was him? There he is again, and then there he is again. That driver's license picture is sus as fuck. So he's 6'1", 220. They're offering a reward up to $50,000. Thank you, Gary. That's why I'm the learning channel. Totally had a getaway. I would assume this guy's probably out of the country. I bet you he had a plan. I mean, he's got ties to other countries. Come on. Come on. And it says nothing on here about the borders. I just think he had a backup plan. I wonder if they found his wife. Set more pics. Okay, thank you, Mal. I think Green Eyed said she sent an email too. I gotta log back in. Let's see what the news is saying though. We'll play their audio and see what's going on while I check my email.
Then, that tactical team left to go back to the home that was confirmed by the Sibley County Sheriff. That team, or maybe it's another team that has come back, they are now here in the parking lot here at this staging area. You see this mobile command center here. There's a couple of those mobile command centers here in this staging area. That's really the movement that we've had. I've talked to a good amount of people here in the community. I even went to a nearby gas station. The woman who works at that gas station says she's worked here for a very long time, but did not recognize the suspect. She said she saw the photo on the news of him. She did not recognize the suspect. His name didn't really sound familiar to her. So to that gas station worker and to also some neighbors that we've been talking with here in Green Isle, so far, no one has said that they know who this suspect is or if they've ever met him before. I will say it's a very rural community out here in Green Isle. And then where that home is, where Vance Boelter presumably lived, or where that home that he owned, it is even more rural. It's down a couple of roads, so it's not really near anyone. And when we arrived on scene here a couple of hours ago, we, of course, tried to go to that home. We were told by law enforcement that we were not going to be able to get anywhere near that home. That is why we are here at the staging area. The Sibley County Sheriff still says right now there's no update on if they're going to hold a press conference tonight. He said earlier that they are hoping to hold a press conference if they have any additional information, but right now there is nothing scheduled at this time.
All right, Joe, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for the information. We've got Danny Spiewak joining us now, our chief political reporter from the Capitol, who got to know these lawmakers.
Okay, so thank you, Mal. I got a couple pictures that we haven't seen. I mean, we don't know if they've gotten a hold of his wife or not. Here you go, Gary. Here's another one of, so in the dark, you wouldn't know it's a mask. You guys, you wouldn't know that's a mask in the dark. Look at that. And then we've got another one in the cowboy hat. Thank you, Mal. Okay, it doesn't look as big in this photo. But where's the mask? Where'd you put it? The news just confirmed the face mask. See, look it. If it was dark out, in dark, like a dark neighborhood, you wouldn't know it's a mask. You would think it's a bald cop. Well, I think he has like a jacket on here. Like this is a thick jacket. But this guy's waist looks pretty thin. Look at that. Look how thin he is down below. But you know, you're working with different angles and such, but I don't know. I mean, why does he have the coat on? It's not that cold. I don't know. I mean, he's got a pretty narrow waist, right? I mean, that could be anybody underneath that mask. To be honest with you. He's shaped like a light bulb. That is just terrifying to me. What do you guys think? That's something obstructing the view of his waist? Oh my God, Jammer says, I'm telling you, that's not him. He's dead. And if they can't find his wife is with him dead. Yeah, DJ, thank you. We went over that in the beginning. And we went over that as well, about him serving on the Minnesota Governor's Workforce Board. All right, we'll put these over here. This just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I'm just worried that, you know, they won't be able to find this guy. Let's hear what the news is saying. Whoops. I guess it would help if I unmuted.
There at least was information that they might be able to find him, and they were unsuccessful in that.
Yeah, and we'd heard SWAT vehicles were arriving on the scene. It all sounds like that's what was unfolding not that long ago. That would have been, what, like an hour ago or so?
Yep, that's right.
Yes, Wanderstar, we did. His background is very sus. I mean, I've got my tinfoil hat on tight.
So this man still on the loose that you see on your screen, those pictures released by law enforcement. Lou, did you happen to see the picture of him released by the FBI where it looks like he's wearing the mask?
Yes, and I'm getting some clarification on that right now to confirm that picture was taken by a security camera this morning, as it appears, and if that is a mask that he's wearing at the time that he goes in. A couple other interesting details about him. His wife and he own a security company. On the webpage for that security company, you see an SUV that the company owns for their security, which resembles a law enforcement vehicle with a light on top, very similar. And they...
Yeah, I wouldn't go to any protests, any rallies in that area at all, in that state at all. I just wouldn't.
Have lived in Shakopee in the past, in Grove Heights, and in 2023 they bought a home in Green Isle, Minnesota, and that's where we've been reporting the searches have been ongoing.
Oh, that's interesting. We saw the Shakopee property and that he...
Okay, so when they went to the houses, was anybody home?
Owned it, but it appears he potentially sold that and bought the one in Green Isle, and that's why they both were listed.
Lou, have you heard any...
In between there, he actually lived in Grove Heights as well. Okay. So he, after around in 2023, he moved from Grove Heights, Alameda Avenue there, to Green Isle.
Lou, I hate to ask you a question that maybe you don't know the answer to. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but has anyone confirmed for you where his wife is today? Do we know her location?
No, we do not, and I've been...
Oh, shit, we don't know the wife's location. He had a list of how many people? 70 on a list?
I'm trying to reach her as well. Her phone is currently off, and I have received no reports of where she's located right now. She is involved with their security company. She's like the president CEO of it.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's in any way involved with this, but it also doesn't mean
absolutely
she's
not.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and we know that law enforcement, even earlier, probably around when they gave their first press conference today around 10 a.m., said that they were talking to persons of interest, presumably his family members, would be on that list as well. But law enforcement also saying just about 3 o'clock today that they are not ruling out that there might have been other people involved. Right now, this is the only suspect. This is the person.
Did you hear that? They said earlier they're not ruling out other people involved.
They are desperately trying to find is this 57-year-old Vance Boelter, but Vance, my apologies, Vance Boelter, but that they could be looking for other people as well. But about an hour ago, SWAT vehicles surrounding a property, 49th Avenue North and 14th in Minneapolis.
Isn't it interesting? His middle name's Luther, and they were Lutheran.
They would find him there, but they did not. And we know that picture that they released of him in that press conference about an hour ago was taken outside of a Minneapolis location. So,
yeah, good question. Do they know where Todd is?
And if we could pull up the FBI photos again one more time, and this terrifying photo, which appears to be from a security camera where he appears to be wearing a mask, and we're saying appears because although the FBI has released this, they haven't given any context to this, right? This is perhaps maybe at the time of the shooting, and then the photo that we have of him later in the day after the shooting, he has obviously been able to change clothing.
Yes.
Well, no shit. Cheryl, could masked guy be his wife? That's what we were saying. Yes, he has 5 children.
So he's either has help or has access to, someplace where he was able to do that. But 2 very different photos, looks like 2 totally different human beings.
And that's
exactly. So where did he ditch the clothes? Where did he change? And where did he put the clothing and the mask?
A good point, because they confiscated his car.
Yes.
The car that he showed up in was towed away.
So he left on foot.
But obviously had access to change his appearance and his clothing in between that shot.
Right. It was planned.
That the FBI released, and the one where he's wearing a cowboy hat and it's daylight outside. There's that vehicle that they towed away that 100% looks like any other.
And that's a good point. He did this at like 3 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. And look, the cowboy hat, it's sunlight. It's daylight. So where the fuck was he for all those hours? And he's just walking down the street in Minneapolis?
The law enforcement vehicle that is unmarked that you would see on the road. And eerily enough, the flashing lights are still on as they're towing that vehicle away. We know that they found a manifesto inside. They also found what could be described as a hit list with lots of names on it, as you would presume there were lawmakers' names on it, not just state lawmakers, but also we know, it has been confirmed by U.S. Senator Tina Smith, that her name was on that list. And we know that
who was it?
Lawmakers, but also we know, it has been confirmed by U.S. Senator Tina Smith, that her name was on that list.
Tina Smith? Where's she from?
And we know that there were other political operators, if you would call them that, whose names were on that list, who are not necessarily elected officials, and that Representative Hortman and Senator Hoffman's names were on the list, but they were not on the top of the list, for whatever that is worth. But
weird.
We're so thankful that proactively law enforcement went to the representative's house, and that whatever the plan was for the rest of the names on that list, it was thwarted, and that this man was eventually stopped, albeit after deep tragedy that's resonating through our state and across the country right now as it sinks in that political leaders in our state were in their homes, presumably sleeping, when they received the most horrific either knock on the door or someone bursting into their front door with what appears to be an automatic rifle. Raya Katene was in the neighborhood of Champlin, where Senator Hoffman's
Jesus Christ.
With multiple
There's
gunshot
the door.
Help the public enough see this face to help stop this man, because they do believe, police say they do believe, that he is.
Mal, where are you going? Where are you going that you're saying you'll be safe? You better not be going to Minneapolis looking for this fucknut.
Is trying to flee. They're they're working with the FBI. They're working with all law enforcement to try and make sure that this guy does not get out of town. As of 3 o'clock, when we heard from the latest from law enforcement, they did believe that he was still here in the Twin Cities. One thing to note, we talked about just how horrible this is for the families and for other lawmakers. Governor Walz has asked that flags be flown at half-staff for Speaker Hortman and her husband, Mark, obviously. And
changed, and now we have very low numbers of protesters.
Well, that's good. At
this
least,
protest originally was today.
At least people are staying home, right? Mal, you're on a walk? Jesus Christ. Hopefully with your dog. If you see Michael Myers, I mean...
This is a guy who he's very online as far as his professional presence. And so there's a lot of public information available right there about him. And, as far as his family goes, it appears that he and his
Senator Tina Smith is a Democrat. So do we know how she voted on that bill?
wife have several kids of their own.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, Senator Tina Smith, and Attorney General Keith Ellison. And all of these are in Minnesota?
Some of them, at this point, potentially fully grown.
Wow, so you found video of him?
Wait, what?
Yes, several videos of him.
Wait, what?
He's very online as far as his professional presence. And so there's a lot of public information available right there about him. And, as far as his family goes, it appears that he and his wife have several kids of their own. Some of them, at this point, potentially fully grown.
Wow, so you found video of him?
Yes, several videos of him speaking. We're working on turning those over right now.
And what is he speaking about?
About the work that he's done overseas, security work, and stuff like that. Another thing, so for more context,
we need to find these videos.
I was working in Tucson when Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was shot, and I have to remind people that there's always this initial desire to figure out what the motive is, and it's often not a straight line. And so, whether he at one point was appointed to some position with a current administration, it doesn't necessarily mean that his politics go one way. And even though it's a politically motivated shooting, the motivation itself might not make sense when it all comes out. Yeah. And so there's a lot of different variables that occur in these type of things. And, until the authorities release more of what this manifesto said, I just caution people from drawing conclusions right now on just basic information that we find.
Absolutely. And it's a good time to reiterate that we see all of the rumors flying around on social media as well, and we will not report on anything until it has been confirmed through law enforcement, or unless some of our trusted reporters like Lou Ragoose and AJ Legault and some of our investigative team have sourced it, and we're comfortable that the information is verifiable. So that's a wonderful thing to point out, Lou, because sadly, probably a large factor in this is all of the vitriol from the fringes that occurs on social media. And if you want to find some ugly things, you can certainly find that right now online as well. We appreciate all the reporting that you've done for us this morning. I know you're working to get some things together. We're going to have a whole newscast here at 5 o'clock on our streaming service. So Lou will let you get to work on that, and interested in seeing those videos that you found. And it's just, as the information has come, it feels like it's dripping out, but at the same time, it's kind of gone extraordinarily fast when you think that all of this just occurred overnight. Absolutely. And we already have multiple pictures of the suspect. We already have lots of details about what happened in the homes of those two lawmakers this morning. And I am sure that as we get more information, I am sure that the vast majority of Minnesotans, regardless of political stripe, feel now and will feel then that there's absolutely no reason, no excuse for this behavior. So even when we do report, when we're able to, a motive, that doesn't mean it's rational, doesn't mean it makes any sense at all, because this is clearly a person who is not well, not mentally well, that would do something like this.
We do have a crew that is at the scene in North Minneapolis. We're working to get you more information just as soon as we can. We know they're talking to people on the scene, perhaps people who live at that home. And so as soon as we have that up and running, we'll be able.
It certainly looks like he's trying to get in their house, doesn't it? See that? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find the videos, but it certainly looks like he's trying. Nan from Ohio, thank you for subscribing. But if you see, you can see the car. And he's got the police lights on. And it looks like he's trying to get in their fucking house. So he was trying to get in, and then he just decided to just shoot. They probably didn't want to let him in. Oh, listen. Who's this?
There has been a lot of damage here to the front yard. You can see.
Who is this guy? Hold on.
Law enforcement and police work. This has gone by
this afternoon.
Well, Julie Rena, I'm about to get to some pretty ominous details. I've been on scene for about 10 minutes. It's, again, ominous is the word that I can use to describe what I'm learning right now. But first, let me give you a paint to the scene for you right now. We're at Fremont and 48th. Again, North Minneapolis, a lot of media members here trying to gain some information. This is a home, as you can see. There has been a lot of damage here to the front yard.
Whose house?
You can see the windows are busted. We see some big tire tracks here on the front yard, on the dirt. It is clear that something happened here, guys. And MPD was able to confirm with us that this was the address where they executed a search warrant. So that much we know from MPD, again, them saying they assisted in the search warrant, the search that was happening right here. And from speaking with a roommate, he doesn't want to be named, he doesn't want to go on camera, but I spoke with a roommate in the last 5 minutes. He tells me Vance Boelter lives here just a couple times a week. Again, we already know about his residence in Green Isle, but this is where he lives just a couple times a week.
Whoa, I know, Molly, but I didn't know what you were talking about. Whoa.
For about 2 years is what this roommate says. And this is so that Mr. Boelter can have some of the odd jobs that this roommate was saying. Apparently, he has worked in positions where he brings bodies to the morgue. Apparently, Mr. Boelter would also take eyeballs out for research again.
What? Eyeballs? No. Y'all, I told you this was sus as fuck. What
this roommate says. And this is so that Mr. Boelter can have some of the odd jobs that this roommate was saying. Apparently, he has worked in positions where he brings bodies to the morgue. Apparently, Mr. Boelter would also take eyeballs out for research. Again, these are the words from one roommate that I spoke with. They also know him as a good guy. There seems to be a number of roommates who share this home with Mr. Boelter.
Oh, God,
and
no.
about noon or sometime in the afternoon is when that so-called big military truck tried to come to this home, or did come to this home, and try to execute that search. That roommate I spoke with says that truck rammed the doors right open. That truck apparently had a rod with a camera attached, presumably in their attempts to find their suspect, Mr. Vance Boelter. From as far as we know, he wasn't here, and the roommates tell us, what the roommate that I spoke with tells us, Mr. Boelter has not been here all morning since he left at about 6:30 a.m. Now, what got the roommates concerned initially? They had known about the incident over in Brooklyn Park that started.
Wait, look at the other person. Look at that person in the window. Who are these people? I'm telling you, y'all, I had a feeling about this. I had a feeling. This is some weird shit. This guy has a family, 5 fucking kids.
Started this whole situation, but what got them initially concerned was Mr. Boelter usually has 2 cars, those police-style cars, those former police cars that we are now so familiar with, but that is the cars that he normally drives around. One of the cars was in the back, and that roommate noticed.
Okay, why would he have a house where he's away from his family right? His wife and kids, and he's staying with multiple roommates doing odd jobs, taking eyeballs out of people's heads, dead people's heads, and transporting dead bodies? What? Gary, I'm telling you, I told y'all, put on your tinfoil hats because this is fucking crazy.
The passenger side window was busted. Okay, and so one of the roommates, they started searching for Mr. Boelter. They know him as Vance. Noticed that Vance was not here at home, and so they texted him. So at that point, they did get a text back. Again, all according to that roommate I spoke with.
They texted him and he texted back? What?
Mr. Boelter apparently said, "I love you guys very much. I'm making some bad choices. I do not want to implicate you all. I may be gone for a while, and I may be dead." Guys, these are very, again, ominous. Those were
what?
That roommate I spoke with, Mr. Boelter apparently said, "I love you guys very much. I'm making some bad choices. I do not want to implicate you all. I may be gone for a while, and I may be dead." Guys, these are very, again, ominous. Those words, very ominous. And from that point on, these roommates.
Look at, they have Vivint. They have a Vivint sign. This guy supposedly did security. Look, Vivint. See it? Or Vivint, whatever the hell it's called. The Watts security system. Oh, yeah. He's this big security guy in South Africa and in Gaza Strip and all these foreign countries. He's renting this dump with a bunch of freaking roommates? What in the actual hell is going on?
Again, ominous. Those words, very ominous. And from that point on, these roommates, they contacted police. Again, I have not seen the text myself, and the words.
I wonder if that damn business is even real, right? Because we looked at the damn website and that shit looked fake as fuck.
That I just read to you were me paraphrasing, or in fact, I actually wrote down verbatim what the roommate told me. And Julie Rena, those were the words that one of the roommates I spoke with is.
You know, remember the guy that shot Trump? Wasn't his dad a big guy like that too? Weird.
Paraphrasing, and the words that he remembers. Now, these are words, as you guys can imagine, these are words that you cannot shake off, right? Let me tell you once again some of the phrases that wrapped up that text. "I may be gone for a while, and I may be dead." Guys, back to you.
Michelle, those are some stunning details. So let me see if I get this right. In your understanding, Vance Boelter was at that house this morning around 6:30 a.m.? Or he left
that house?
That
is around the last time. Correct, yes.
So did the roommates see him? Did they have contact with him this morning? In person?
They say that there was a Ring camera that captured this, and so that is how they were able to pinpoint this to about 6:30 a.m. But it's unclear, Julie, whether or not they saw him this morning. Again, but the evidence, the strange evidence was clear, that passenger side door of that car being busted, and you can still actually, in the back of this home, there's glass on the ground right now as we speak.
Damn.
Well, it's interesting because the vehicle he was presumably in was towed away in Brooklyn Park this morning. But also they said he lived there or he stayed there a couple times a week
what did
for
she
the
say?
last. Did the roommates see him? Did they have contact with him this morning? In person?
They say that there was a Ring camera that captured this, and so that is how they were able to pinpoint this to about 6:30 a.m. But it's unclear, Julie, whether or not they saw him this morning. Again, but the evidence, the strange evidence was clear, that passenger side door of that car being busted, and you can still actually, in the back of this home, there's glass on the ground right now as we speak.
Well, it's interesting because the vehicle he was presumably in was towed away in Brooklyn Park this morning. But also they said he lived there or he stayed there a couple times a week for the last 2 years. I know this is all developing quickly, but were you able to get a description of the type of person they believed he was? And the type of work he was doing?
They use the term, or I'll use the words good guy. That is what one of the residents here told me. They believed he was a good guy. They really knew, especially, these roommates were really connected by one main roommate who seemed to be the one collecting the rent money and paying that all together to the landlord. And so he knew that person very well. I've yet to speak to this person, but I hope to very shortly as soon as I get off air. But Vance apparently knew that person very well. Once again, his job description was bringing bodies to the morgue. He would also take eyeballs out for research, and then he would have a room here just a few times in the week while he was carrying out that work. Where exactly, who employed him, it's unclear. We're unsure. They didn't identify a name of a business. But again, good guy. He apparently college educated, smart, he said, the roommate said. And we also know that he had written a book for the church. And so again, good guy. That was how Mr. Vance Boelter was perceived here by his roommates.
So he stayed there, according to the roommates.
He was a good guy who took eyeballs out of dead people's heads and wrote a book for the church. Say what?
Just because he didn't want to make that drive to Green Isle? Is that why he was staying in Minneapolis a couple times a week, according to the roommate?
Presumably so. Green Isle is quite far, yes.
And Michelle, forgive me, you might not know the answer to this, but you said he wrote a book for a church, his church. Do you know which church, the name of the book?
Details I have yet to find out, but I'll go ahead and ask right after I get off the air with you guys. But he said, the roommate said he wrote a book for the church.
Okay. And he did say that they called authorities to say, hey, this is our roommate.
They did.
Well, we're thankful that they did that.
They did alert authorities. Correct.
All right. Well, some really stunning information. We're going to let you go so you can try to collect more information for us. Thank you. That's a lot of insight you just provided from that roommate. Thanks so much, Michelle. We appreciate it. That's stunning. There's understandable then why police.
Wow, that is wild. Okay, Mal sent us a video. Let's see what this is.
Oh, my name is Vance Boelter. I just go by Vance. No other names that I use. I live in Green Isle, Minnesota, about an hour away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm affiliated with 2 funeral homes. I work full-time for Wolf Funeral Home, which is an intake location for about 6 funeral homes. And we also do all the intake for the National Cremation Society and the Neptune Society for all their cremation customers as well. So I mainly do.
This guy's involved in cremations. Stop it. Stop, stop, stop. This is wild. And I'm not usually speechless, but when this shit is happening right in front of my eyes, fucking wow. Urban. This is the one, huh?
Removals at this point. So I work at Wolf full time, and then I also work for another funeral home called Metro First Call. And
hold on. His LinkedIn says that he's in fucking security. What?
They also do traditional removals at nursing homes, assisted living apartments, but they also have contracts with medical examiner's office. So
medical examiner's offices?
Like one contract is the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office. So we'll do removals, which we're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found.
Oh my God. Was he killing people? Is this a serial killer? This is fucking weird, dude. Has he been taking out other people? Sophia, is he a big con artist?
Thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, he had enough money to have a home, his family, 5 kids, and whatever he was doing, and then renting this house.
Could be a crime scene or just a natural death. And our role is to just take the decedent from that place of death to the medical examiner's office. And so between those 2 locations, I'm working about 6 days a week. What else here? Family and pets. I have a wife and 5 kids, and we have 2 pets, German Shepherds. Fun fact about myself, I've been in the food industry about 30 years, and that led to an opportunity. I was invited to the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is located in Central Africa.
None of this makes sense. You were in the food industry for 30 years and now you're cremating bodies and removing eyeballs? No.
When I was in high school, the country was called Zaire. That's a little bit more familiar with people, but it's the largest, second largest country in Africa, right in the middle in the center there, and was asked a couple years ago to go and see what I could do for ideas on helping their food supply system. Their population is about 100 million people, and they import 80% of their food currently. So some of the food companies I worked for in the past were Farm to Fork, like Del Monte Foods and Golden Plump Poultry, where we did everything from at Del Monte, we planted the products to harvested them to process them and then shipped them out.
Okay, but Cheryl, he didn't list that on his LinkedIn as his job. This is really strange. There are videos of him as a preacher.
Out in Golden Plump Poultry, we had our own hatcheries, grow out barns with the farmers, and then processing plants. So between those two companies, I have some experience with agriculture. And so over in the Democratic Republic of Congo, I had some ideas they thought were pretty promising, which the company I was working for at the time wasn't interested in doing anything in Africa. So I talked with my wife and we decided I just put in my 2-week notice and we just go off on our own to try to do these projects to help out in Africa. So we're doing farming and fishing projects in. Decided I just put in my 2-week notice and we just go off on our own to try to do these projects to help out in Africa. So we're doing farming and fishing projects in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And to help pay the bills, I just started working at a funeral home because the shift worked good for my schedule with the other things I was doing.
What?
And that.
Wait, you went for the food industry to dead people?
With the other because the shift worked good.
Because of the shift? Because of the shift? Yeah, apparently his dad was born here. I'm not buying it.
And to help pay the bills, I just started working at a funeral home because the shift worked good.
No, John Wayne Gacy, no.
Republic of Congo.
He reminds me of fucking John Wayne Gacy. I can't.
Democratic Republic of Congo. And to help pay the bills, I just started working at a funeral home because the shift worked good for my schedule with the other things I was doing. And that led to some.
I'm telling you, he's a fucking CIA spy. I said this. This is weird.
Classes at DMAC, which led to this course. So just learning more about the funeral industry. And I think that covers everything. And I will.
Urban, are you kidding? Nuh-uh. Urban, are you serious? Where'd you hear that?
Look forward to seeing you in class, and we'll go from there.
Ew, he taught classes on this? Urban, where did you see that? Vance Boelter. Latest. Allegedly, he had a hit list of targeting abortion providers, clinics, and Planned Parenthood. Both lawmakers he targeted were pro-choice. Hold on. I'm trying to. Urban, did you get. I don't see anything about that, even on X. People are calling him a hitman of walz. Who thinks this guy is American? I don't think he's American. I just don't. I don't know. I just get the feeling he ain't American. Yeah, he didn't say nothing about the security. Look at, he's been in Gaza, Samaria, Lebanon, Eastern Europe. Looks like an assassin in training. Look. Director of Security Patrols. That's from that website. See, people have screenshotted it. That's good. I don't see anything about the wife, but if you look here, this is his LinkedIn. Hold on, let me make it smaller. Here's his LinkedIn. Del Monte, Johnsonville Sausage, (7-Eleven) general manager. This guy's got to be just delusional or something. Or they paint him as delusional. I want to see if he really went to these schools and shit. Is this guy a big scam artist? He might be going to the parade. No, he said he worked for Johnsonville. He was the operations manager of Johnsonville Sausage. Oh, no. Oh, a former appointee. Daily Mail. Look at this. There's the mask again. Oh, man. This is weird, too. This looks like it was set up to be left behind. Don't you think? He does look European. I agree, Harlot. I just can't get down with him not being a foreigner. I don't know how he got away. I don't understand it. So they've locked down a 3-mile radius around there. Oh, we didn't see this. Let's see what Waltz had to say.
Hey guys, do you need a car now but don't have enough money for you?
Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place.
What do you mean, jammers? Is the stream not okay?
She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic that they will survive this assassination attempt.
Well, won't they have a story to tell?
Eto na sila. May crispy strips. Long, tender, juicy chicken na...
Jesus. Look at this guy says, Dr. Vance Boelter, not this Austin Powers looking motherfucker. All right, let's go back to the news and see what's happening. This is a fluid situation.
He's still on the run. If he is the shooter, left behind a manifesto, a hit list, and also signs in his car that just had "No Kings" written on them that were found on the floor of his car. And of course, that obviously was referring to the massive rallies going on around the country right now that were called "No Kings." There were anti-Trump rallies that were to be taking place here today. We are still working to gain more information on that suspect. And of course, we'll update you as soon as we have.
Okay, so they don't have anything new right now. If you heard the female senator voted across party lines, she did an interview. Yeah, I showed it. Yeah. So isn't it supposed to be the parade starting now? So now there's a memorial for her. Yeah, I think they're fixing to start that parade at 6. It's like the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. Well, who thinks Julia's there? Who thinks Julia was called in to be a speaker? Or to partake in the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army? And my hat goes off to all of our soldiers, especially our Army, on today, the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. A Christian nationalist. Okay, what I'm going to do, just because, bear with me, I want to clip it real good. I'm going to play that video of Vance again that Mel sent over. And the source is TikTok. Whoops. Shit. There it is.
Oh, my name is Vance Boelter.
I'm going to play it all the way through.
Just go by Vance. No other names that I...
Oh,
my name is Vance.
No other names. Isn't it interesting that he says that?
Oh, my name is Vance.
I don't go by any other names. Why would anyone think you do? Your name's Vance. Yeah, this guy's sus as fuck. I bet you he's got other names. Here, let's go ahead and crop this out. Right. Why would you even say that? I don't go by any other names. Red flag. Red flag. Oh, Julia, Nick didn't let her go. Oh, poor Jules. Okay, here we go.
Oh, my name is Vance Boelter. I just go by Vance. No other names that I use. I live in Greenell, Minnesota, about an hour away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm affiliated with 2 funeral homes. I work full-time for Wolf Funeral Home, which is an intake location for about 6 funeral homes. And we also do all the intake for the National Cremation Society and the Neptune Society for all their cremation customers as well. So I mainly do removals at this point. So I work at Wolf full time, and then I also work for another funeral home called Metro First Call, and they also do traditional removals at nursing homes, assisted living apartments, but they also have contracts with medical examiner's office. So like one contract is the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, so we'll do removals, which we're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found. Could be a crime scene or just a natural death, and our role is to just take the decedent from that place of death to the medical examiner's office. And so between those 2 locations, I'm working about 6 days a week. What else here? Family and pets. I have a wife and 5 kids, and we have 2 pets, German Shepherds. Fun fact about myself, I've been in the food industry about 30 years, and that led to an opportunity. I was invited to the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is located in Central Africa, When I was in high school, the country was called Zaire. That's a little bit more familiar with people, but it's the largest, second largest country in Africa, right in the middle in the center there, and was asked a couple years ago to go and see what I could do for ideas on helping their food supply system. Their population is about 100 million people, and they import 80% of their food currently. So some of the food companies I worked for in the past were Farm to Fork, like Del Monte Foods and Golden Plump Poultry, where we did everything from, at Del Monte, we planted the products to harvested them to process them and then shipped them out. In Golden Plump Poultry, we had our own hatcheries, grow out barns with the farmers, and then processing plants. So between those two companies, I have some experience with agriculture. And so over in the Democratic Republic of Congo, I had some ideas they thought were pretty promising, which the company I was working for at the time wasn't interested in doing anything in Africa. So I talked with my wife and we decided I just put in my 2-week notice and we just go off on our own to try to do these projects to help out in Africa. So we're doing farming and fishing projects in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And to help pay the bills, I just started working at a funeral home because the shift worked good for my schedule with the other things I was doing. And that led to some classes at DMAC, which led to this course. So just learning more about the funeral industry. And I think that covers everything. And I will look forward to seeing you in class, and we'll go from there.
There's no reason that this guy would work in the food industry for 30 years. And then just to pick up extra money, decide to be a remover of bodies. And now his roommates are reporting that he was removing eyeballs. He was removing eyeballs. See, why does this keep happening to me on YouTube? You guys been getting that? Something went wrong shit? Here we go. Look.
That a text message. His best friend also lives here in this house with Vance Boelter.
This is live.
He and another roommate corroborated that Vance Boelter lived in this home just a couple times in the week, his other home being in Green Isle. He had some jobs here in the Twin Cities, and so that's why he was here. In fact, actually, this room on the right, you see somebody inside there right now.
Who's he talking
to? There's a cat tower
to?
in the front. The window's clearly busted out.
Look at the cat
That is the
tree.
room where Vance Boelter lived. David Carlson,
that was his
roommate,
room.
went inside for us when I asked him, hey, can you show us that book he wrote? Apparently, he had written a book about the church, and that overall, he was a very good guy. His roommates, his friend, clearly just dumbfounded at the events that have happened today and the events that are now being linked to their roommate. David Carlson could not walk out with any book that he was talking about, and that was because police had already come and gone, and they had taken a lot of his items, presumably as evidence. And you can see some people walking inside right now as we speak.
Wait a minute.
We even asked about...
Wait, wouldn't this be a crime scene? It was busted out by authorities. Why are people just walking in there, and who are those people?
Mr. Boelter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Boelter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter, but he hasn't really talked about politics lately. And
wait, he was a Trump supporter and he hasn't talked about politics lately?
Boelter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter, but he hasn't really talked about politics lately. And from what his friend knew, he had no idea that Boelter was interested at all in local or state lawmakers as well. His friend didn't even know the names of the lawmakers who were attacked today. He had no idea, the friend had no idea of
What?
Boelter even going to the state
This guy was
capitol.
living double life.
Once again, he never talked about state lawmakers. And that is some of the political affiliations that he told us about. Although he did have some ties in the Congo, apparently he flew out to D.C. to meet with an official from the Congo. Guys, back to you.
Flew out to D.C. Look at the newscast lady. The news lady doesn't even know what to say. I'm telling you, this shit is sus. I'm about to go get a roll of tinfoil and make a tinfoil hat live.
To meet with an official from the Congo. Guys, back to you. Apparently the political affiliations that he told us about, although he did have some ties in the Congo, apparently he flew out to D.C. to meet with an official from the Congo. Guys, back to you.
That is breaking news. So much of what you've said is breaking news. And of course, I want to attribute it all to his roommate in that house.
What?
We know that the roommates in the house, from your reporting earlier, said that Boelter stopped by the home about 6:30 in the morning. Can you walk us through when roommates became aware that there was a very serious situation underway and whether or not they...
Oh, I wonder if he left the mask here. Listen. He came back to the house at 6:30. He did this shit 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I wonder if he left the stuff in this house.
They saw Vance Boelter today at any point?
So David Carlson, he told me that when he last heard from Boelter was last night, actually. He heard his voice last night after he came back from work. They were speaking from between the doors, presumably. Boelter was inside his room. Once again, this corner here behind me. This morning, though, fast forwarding to this morning around 6:30 a.m., the roommates woke up. They noticed behind his home, his car was there. It's now been towed, but there was a car there. The passenger door window smashed. I actually even saw the glass on the ground. It's still sitting there. They noticed that the passenger door window is smashed. They tried reaching out to him, hadn't heard from him. They also hadn't heard from his wife either. And then around that time, as fears and concerns were growing, they had received that, again, ominous text. David had received that ominous text from his friend Vance, and fearing that he might harm himself. That is why David says he called police. He reached out to police, Julie.
All right. There's a lot of insight you provided tonight, Michelle. We appreciate
that.
Your
is
great work
wild.
on the scene there. We'll be checking back in throughout the night. Thank you so much, Michelle. Well, the other site tonight that officials are looking into is about an hour or so away from there, southwest of the Twin Cities in Green Isle. And that's where Joe McCoy is. He joins us now with the latest from that scene. Joe?
Hi, Julie. Yep, we are here in Green Isle because Boelter owned a property out here. Now, this is
another
the staging
property
area where law enforcement have set up for the day. That black vehicle that you see right there, that is the River Valley Tactical Team. And we have seen them come and go
another property
from this parking lot to Boelter's address here, which is on the 341st Avenue in Green Isle. We also have this white vehicle over here, which is a mobile command center. There are multiple mobile command centers here from different agencies. Now, I want to show some video that Sky 11 captured today over that property that Vance Boelter owns. Sky 11 captured those armored vehicles that were on his property. There was also bearcats outside of his home. Now, we, of course, were not allowed to go to that property ourselves because of the security risk. So all of the video that we have from that property is from Sky 11. Now, as you mentioned, Julie, Green Isle is about 30 to 45 minutes away from the metro. I've been talking with different people here in the community here, just neighbors. I actually...
So he was 45 minutes away, and he managed to get back at 6:30 to the house. How long was he there? What's up, Skolnick?
Stopped by a gas.
Hey, if you guys want updates on the missing kids in Nova Scotia, Skolnick's your girl. Just FYI.
Gas station to see if anyone knows this man, if anyone knows Vance Boelter. One of the ladies who works at the gas station, she works at the counter there. She said she's worked there for many years, has never met Vance Boelter. She saw the pictures on the news. She didn't recognize him. So that's just kind of what we're trying to gauge from the community. Is that
no one knows who the fuck he is? Come on.
if anyone here in Green Isle has had any interaction with him in the past. And we do know from the Sibley County Sheriff that they are hoping to have a press conference here tonight with any new information that they have gathered from Boelter's home in Green Isle, but we are not sure of a time yet of when that press conference would be. Julie.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
And to recap, we have crews at two scenes right now, the home of Representative Melissa Hortman in Brooklyn Park and the home of Senator John Hoffman. Let's go straight to Sammy Salina, who has been at Speaker Emerita Hortman's home in Brooklyn Park all day since early this morning and has been talking to neighbors in the area. Sammy.
Hey guys, I mean, there's a much different scene here, even though the scene behind me is still very much active, but neighbors are now out and about, as you can probably hear the lawnmowers, folks trying to get the yard work done because there was that shelter in place order that has since been lifted about an hour ago because police say they don't think that the suspect is in the area. Right behind me. That is why that shelter in place order was in effect. That is the scene of Melissa Hortman's home and her husband, Mark, where earlier police say Vance Boelter pulled up in a car resembling a police vehicle, dressing like an officer. He then shot and killed Hortman and her husband, Mark. Officials say Brooklyn Park police were checking up on Hortman at the time since they knew about the shooting, targeting Senator Hoffman. They found the suspect in the doorway. He shot at officers. Gunfire was exchanged and he fled. One neighbor I talked with said he saw Melissa just yesterday walking her dog Gilbert, who was also shot.
It's tough seeing this across your yard, everything that's been going on today. It's hard to hear all this information coming in at once, and knowing that you just saw this person smiling yesterday and now they're not here has been just a tragedy.
Now, about hours ago, we saw authorities take away the suspect's vehicle. You can see there the flashing red and blue lights were on. It had a license plate that read police, and it had that railing in front. XP Lee, who knows Hortman and used to be on the city council, said it's an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah, it was just devastating. Justin, we were just super sad because we knew how much she means, what she's done.
He was seen at the house he rented in North Minneapolis this morning, 20 to 25 minutes.
And Mark,
okay.
And then also, try to
so
hurt
he got
Senator Hoffman and his wife.
He got 25 minutes away by 6:30. How the fuck did he do it? How the fuck did he do it?
Spoken with many neighbors here, both Democrat, Republican, and it doesn't matter the party affiliation. Folks say
I got up for a moment, so I don't know what was said about the dog. If you guys could fill me in if you heard it.
That Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, were good people, good neighbors, and this should not have happened. Back to you.
Absolutely. Politics has nothing to do with people coming together to agree.
Oh, so I bet they'll get footage from buses possibly.
This should not have happened, just like you said. Sammy, thank you.
Well, State Senator John Hoffman and his wife are recovering in the hospital tonight.
No, Trump did make a statement. Wait, who's this? Let's watch this. This is this is the other senator, the ones that are recovering.
ANA has been on that scene all day long, joins us now live with the latest from there. Raya?
So this was the non-lethal. Mel, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't know, Julie. I haven't heard that. The dog was shot as well. Fucker. The first scene was non-lethal, correct? And then the second scene was the lethal scene where the people died and he ditched the car and he ran. This is the 2 a.m. house with the bullets through the front door. I just want to make that clear. I don't know why I just got balloons on my camera, but apparently, yes, he shot the dog.
Multiple bullet holes can be seen on the front door of Senator John Hoffman's house, a home his neighbors tell me that he and his family have lived in for more than 2 decades.
I just couldn't believe it.
A neighborhood in shock after authorities say Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot multiple times in their home. It happened at around 2 a.m. Saturday in what officials are calling a politically motivated attack by a man impersonating law enforcement. Levi Strand, who lives across the street, says he woke up to what he thought was the sound of fireworks.
Kind of the pop, 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 and then there was like what looked like a cop car.
Oh my God.
Driving down.
That dark-colored SUV is what authorities say that...
Dude, he heard that shit. That is terrifying. It is very modest.
Kind of the pop, 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 and then there was like what looked like a cop car driving down.
That dark-colored SUV is what authorities say the suspect, 57-year-old Vance Boelter, was using to get around as he drove from Senator Hoffman's home in Champlin to Representative Melissa Hortman's home in Brooklyn Park. There, authorities say the suspect shot and killed Hortman.
You never know who's your neighbor, you know it? What's on the window of the vehicle? You never know who your neighbors are.
Hortman and her husband. Officials say Hoffman and his wife are out of surgery and recovering from their injuries. As authorities continue to monitor the conditions of Senator Hoffman and his wife Yvette, neighbors here tell me they too will be praying for their recovery. Reporting in Champlin, Raya Katane, KARE 11 News.
Earlier this afternoon, Minnesota and law enforcement swift
There's really a deep sense of pain and
Okay, I'm gonna mute this.
My friend Melissa, who I cannot.
This is crazy. For those that are just joining, let me give you a little background here. We'll play a couple videos because right now is this parade, so they're not really talking about this right now. But let me give you play a couple. Right, we don't even know who our friends have been. That's so true. Okay, here we go, guys.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination.
Say a man impersonating an officer allegedly shot and killed Minnesota's former House Speaker and her husband in their home early this morning. Now, in a separate shooting, the same suspect allegedly shot and injured another Minnesota state lawmaker along with his wife in their home as well. Law enforcement officials calling the attacks politically motivated.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal.
The search of the vehicle, there wasn't a manifesto that identified many lawmakers and other officials. We immediately made alerts to the state who took action on alerting them and providing security where necessary. And that's about, I'll stop there.
Safe to say dozens of pieces of paper with that slogan written on them, which of course led authorities, public officials in Minnesota to think of the No Kings rallies happening in practically every state across the country.
See, this is what doesn't make sense, is the No King is directly against Trump. Then you have his roommate saying, yeah, he voted for Trump. He was a supporter. So was this dude truly like living two lives? Working at a funeral home? Did his wife know he worked at the funeral home? The anchor. What? Oh my God, I was just reading a comment. Did it disappear?
From our affiliate KARE of Senator John Hoffman's home. If we can pull this up and you can see, there it is. This is shocking, Jose. Those are bullet holes in the front door of Senator Hoffman's home here in the suburbs of Minneapolis.
We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has...
The papers totally look staged. It's crazy. So he ditches the police car that he had, leaves it behind with these all over the seat.
His bio that is listed on the security company's website. It says that Dr. Vance Boelter has been involved with security situations in Eastern Europe, Africa, North America, and the Middle East, including the West Bank, Southern Lebanon, and Gaza Strip. He brings a great security aspect forged by both many on-the-ground experiences combined with training by both private security firms and by people in the U.S. military. He's worked for the largest U.S. oil refining company and the world's largest food company based in Switzerland. And it says, Vance has focused all this experience to make sure Praetorian Guard Security Services covers the needs you have to keep your family and property safe. So we're seeing at least this self-described bio on a website, but that doesn't seem to match exactly what we're seeing on some of the government forms where he's been a volunteer serving on a state board. In those cases, it always listed him as working at, as being like the general manager of a gas station.
But he can't be just a loon, you guys. He worked for the governor. He has like a certificate. He sat on a board, on the governor's board. And then you have a video of him, saying that he takes bodies to the crematory. I don't think that you can say he's just a con man. There's government forms on him. Those aren't even flyers, though. Like, those are literally pieces of computer paper with a Sharpie that says "No Kings." I think it's giving way too much credibility to those pieces of paper by saying they're flyers. He could have, maybe the certificate is fake. I'm pretty sure the news confirmed that, though. The anchor said a neighbor said he saw Melissa just yesterday walking her dog. Gilbert. I don't know. Melissa Gilbert? Isn't that Little House on the Prairie? He was on the Workforce Development Board 2016 to 19. His wife was one of Tim Walz's assistants. Right. I wonder if the cops killed the couple. He clearly doesn't have good aim. No, Melissa is the one that was killed. Oh, got you. But some boards are just small organizations that did nothing. I guess. I don't know. It's not adding up for me. I can't get past it.
The major update now confirmed by 3 people familiar with the investigation to NBC News that Vance Boelter, they say, is the suspected shooter who they believe ditched that SUV, took off on foot, and is now at large in the suburban Minneapolis area with this massive, you can see that SUV there being towed away, with this massive manhunt.
See, but this was not that long ago. If he was back at the house in Minneapolis at 6:30 a.m., why are they saying he would still be in the suburbs right now? Why would he still be in the suburbs right now?
Underway, Jose.
You hear that?
Let's look at that, Maggie, because that's the one that...
you would think they would say, he's probably in the downtown Minneapolis area.
Suspect was utilizing. Boy, yeah. You see that? The lights on the top. Look at that. And in the plate, you see the...
Have you guys hit the like button yet? If not, now is a great time to do so. It really helps my channel. Thank you.
Plate right in the front. It says
he's gone. Right. He's gone, Nils. What's up, Nils?
And again,
this is... Yeah. Let's take a look at that, Maggie. Let's look at that together. Folks,
here it goes.
Watch this. Look at that. The back, there's some stripes there. You got the I think the tag in the front says police, the lights on the top, and then there are some lights inside that are actually still moving. Boy, that top and bottom of the front windshield, look at that. I mean, this is as close to a police SUV as you can get, if it's not one. And I'm glad.
Hey, Mal, was there a timestamp on that video of him in the cowboy hat? Do we know what time that was at? Because if he was at the house in Minneapolis at 6:30, when was that picture taken? Because it was light outside. It really gets me into the algorithm. Let's see what they're saying now.
Of who law enforcement we have confirmed they believe the suspect is. That tip line information is still up, would lead me to believe that he is not in custody right now. But we do know that there's a heavy law enforcement presence right now outside of a property that Vance Boelter, 57-year-old Vance Boelter is a suspect in this case. And there's a heavy law enforcement presence outside of his home right now in Green Isle, Minnesota. We also know from some digging done by our investigative reporter, AJ Legault, that he owned a security company. And on the website for that company, they had advertised that they had all of the markings that would make them look like and also be able to perform as if they were law enforcement. And we know whoever the shooter was in this case was dressed as if he was a member of law enforcement and also had a vehicle that looked like a police
what's this?
vehicle.
Another
Let's listen in
update?
now to the press conference from law enforcement.
Oh, this is earlier. They're replaying it. We're not going to play that. Let's see what we can find on X. What was the name of the person? I'm sorry. Who told me? I think it was John in chat. Who was it on X that had Vance talking? Maybe I can find it. This is him. This is fucking him. Oh my God.
Look at the Congo River.
Quand j'étais à Kinshasa, je regardais la rivière, le fleuve Congo.
Now imagine all the water is gone.
Maintenant, imaginez que tout l'eau qu'il y a là est parti.
And instead of waters, it's filled with soccer balls.
Et on remplace
Oh, hell no.
Millions and billions of soccer balls.
On remplit de millions et de millions de ballons de foot à
And
l'intérieur.
No.
Soccer balls flows from Kinshasa all the way to Mwanda.
Et ça continue jusqu'à Mwanda.
And I try to compare this line of 7 soccer balls to that wave and river of soccer balls down to Mwanda.
Comparez maintenant ces 7 ballons à la ligne.
What in the hell? So this guy has been a preacher, a security guy in all these different countries, and working for funeral homes in the National Crematory. I mean, he actually did this. This isn't just a nut job saying he did it. He did this.
Créé à partir de ballons qui remplissent le fleuve, qui vont jusqu'à remplir l'océan Mwanda.
I can't compare it.
C'est incomparable.
Because this 7 balls has a beginning and an end.
Parce que ces ballons, ces 7 ont un début et une fin.
That line of soccer balls is still going.
Cette ligne continue à continuer.
Now I stand in Mwanda.
Maintenant, je me tiens à Mwanda.
And I look in the ocean.
Je regarde l'océan.
And all the water's gone.
Et on vide toute l'eau de l'océan.
It's an ocean of soccer balls.
Et ça devient un océan de ballons.
And it goes on, and I can't see the end of the soccer balls.
Continue à continuer.
What the fuck?
But I compare my 7 balls to the whole ball, all the soccer balls.
Why is he talking about his balls?
Ballon à tous ces ballons qui remplissent les océans et le fleuve du
You
monde.
can't compare it.
Vous ne pouvez pas comparer cela.
Because life has a beginning and an end.
La vie a un début et la vie a une fin.
Now, in the ocean of soccer balls,
Maintenant, quand vous vous tenez devant un océan de
I look to the moon.
vous regardez l'océan de ballons. Maintenant, vous
And
regardez
the
la lune.
whole ocean rises to the moon.
Et puis tout l'océan s'élève jusqu'au
And it
à la
covers the
lune.
moon. You can't see the moon anymore.
Vous ne pouvez, et ça couvre tout l'univers. Vous ne pouvez rien voir.
It's all covered with soccer balls.
Tout est rempli de ballons de foot.
And then that line goes to the sun.
Et puis cette même continuité va jusqu'à la lune.
What the fuck? Hi, Lizzie. How you doing? This is Rosie Memos. That's where I'm getting this from. Oh my God. Wow. Your mom looks so beautiful, lit up by the city lights below. This is him and his wife. This is I don't know where they're getting this from? Oh, because it's a post. I want a marriage like my parents have. Hashtag goals. I wonder what date that was posted. There's no date on it. His daughters are on X. They are very pretty and don't really post. I don't see the need to drag them into it. Sorry, but do you really think this fat ass actually escaped law enforcement on foot? I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. He got away on foot. Look at, she says dollars to donuts. I'm with whoever posted this. Dollars to donuts. This guy was a CIA at some point. Oh, what is this? That is creepy. They're comparing it to Biden. Wait, we watched that clip. Hold on. Vance Boelter has an interesting property history in Pearson, Iowa. Separately, he bought a house in Green Isle, Minnesota for $520,000 in 2023. Here, let me make this bigger. He bought a house in Green Isle, Minnesota for $520,000 in 2023 and seems to have a couple other properties there. Unclear if the Minnesota properties were purchased with cash. Is Skolnick still here? This is right up her alley. This person says, I've done quite a few real estate transactions, and this one makes me scratch my head big time. This looks like almost a way to launder the $99,900. I mean, the dude had to get a job. Oh, my God. Population 200. Perfect place for a CIA op to live. Just saying. Well, we still have Todd, who was on the business website, and Jenny. Let me explain. Boelter buys a property for $20,000 on 11/20/2020. Boelter creates contract to person A on 6/7/2021 for $99,900, quadruple the price. Usually this would represent some sort of seller financing. Typical terms are 25% down and high interest rates, with the expectation of finding a real mortgage. Person A forfeits to Boelter on 9/11/2021. This usually means payments were not made. Boelter assigns to person B on 7/8/2022 for $99,900. Person B quit claims to Boelter on 1/17/2024. Again, I'm not sure why, unless they decided they didn't want to make payments anymore. Boelter finally sells to person C on 8/6/2024 for $60,000. They think he's a con artist. Oh, look at this one. He and his wife maintain a 501c3 ministry called Reformation Ministries. It was originally filed with the IRS in 2008. What? This is Gaylord, Minnesota. Why does it say received Ogden, Utah? Is that where the IRS is? out there? Revo Formation. Let's see if it's still there. Revoformation.com. Revo Formation. Hold on. Oh, he has a fucking GoFundMe. Wow, they're established with Go Fuck Me. Hold on. Look at, he's on all these charities, dude. Look at, find Revo Formation Ministries. If we click on the website, it's gone. But look here. Guidestar.org. Principal officer, ruling year 1964. What? 1964? What does that mean? The year the IRS granted an organization tax exempt. That does say 64, right? I mean, this site could be wrong. Yeah, it says 64. Hold on. Let's go back. And then we have Charity Navigator. 20198. This is his address. Yeah, look. Ruling year 1964. Holy shit. So this is his house. Yep, 520,000. Yeah, he bought it for 520,000 in 2023, and he's moving. He was born in 67. Whoa. Whoa. Now that's not weird, right? None of this makes sense to me. Nice house. Love the woodwork. Beautiful home. This is wild. JP Miller vibes. I bet that's not even right. I think that all of this could be faked. Like even that obit could be faked. This is some wild stuff. So he's living in this house with his wife and kids. And then all of a sudden he's leaving for a couple days a week and he's staying with these roomies. Okay, let's see something else here. Let's go down. Let's go see people living here. Because sometimes these people searches will tell you who lives here. It does have his name. Now, it has him in Iowa at 230 Summit Street. Here, let me enlarge this. It has him at 230 Summit Street in Pearson, Iowa. P.O. Box 225 in Gaylord, Minnesota. 818 Penn Avenue in Gaylord, Minnesota. 3795 North Clark Street in Radisson, Wisconsin. 10736 Alameda Avenue in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. And then 7800 Horizon Drive in Shakopee, Minnesota. And there's his number if you'd like to give him a jingle. Aliases: Jenny Boelter, Luther Boelter Vance, Luther Boelter Vance, Luther Dolter Vance, Boelter Vance, and Ants Boelterov. Relatives: Donald, Faith, Grace, Vance, Yvonne, Terry, Adam, Adrian, Alec, Amy, Arden, Barbara, and Benjamin. And then we have Jenny here. Jenny Daskasil. This is her maiden name. Jennifer L. Daskasil. Let's look her up. Welcome to Digging with Jay today. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so now. Jennifer Daskaril. She was born in 1974. Hold on. I don't know why that came up. That's Tennessee. Okay, let's put Minnesota. She's 51. Jenny Lynn Boelter, age 51. That's her? That's got to be like a social. That's got to be like her mom or something, don't you think? Like from a social? Oh, she still has Facebook up? Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling through stuff just to see if anything pops out. This is what I do. Okay, we've got Jenny in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, Gaylord, Minnesota, Shakopee, Yuma, Arizona. So is that where she's from? Yuma, Arizona. Because then we've got her in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Sleepy Eye, Minnesota, Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, Springbrook, Wisconsin, and La Crosse, Wisconsin, and Arcadia, Wisconsin. So is she from Wisconsin or is she from Arizona? I'm going to look her up in Wisconsin. All right, this must be her dad, I guess. Let's see. Yep, this is her dad. I'm pretty good at this sleuth and stuff sometimes. All right, so this is Jenny's father. So now we'll get a feeling of where she's from, at least, right? William Daskasiel, age 64, of Hayward, passed away unexpectedly at his home on Saturday, March 8th, 2014. So he was born in Illinois. He grew up and graduated from high school in Lombard, Illinois. In 67, Bill moved to Stone Lake with his parents and sister. He received a bachelor's in speech communication in 71 from UW Superior. Oh, he worked in radio. He held various sales positions, most recently with WHSM Radio. He enjoyed his on-air time broadcasting sports with Hans Evans. Bill found great comfort and faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. He lived his faith and tried to fill the shoes of Pastor David Perkins at Christian Fellowship Ministries. Bill was preceded in death by his parents. He's survived by his wife, his sister, daughters, and look at right here. Daughter, Jenny Vance Boelter of Shakopee, Minnesota. Huh. I mean, do you guys think this guy is going to live? What's this? Hold on. He came up in this search about 2 girls dying in an ATV crash in Wisconsin. His name came up. I hate Facebook, though. I wish you could search. I wish you could search and find his post, but I'm not going to sit there and scroll through those. Hold on. What is this? Where is this obituary from? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm clicking on shit. I couldn't even tell you. Let me go back and see. Dignity Memorial. That's where it's from. I don't know why it's in another language. It's probably just the website's fucked up. All right, let's see if there's... Okay, so we started out looking at this reformation. Let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. And now we're back at the GoFundMe. Established 1964. When this dude was born. Okay. Contributions are $14,430. And then he had net assets of $117,100. That was in 2010. All right, this is Rosie again. Let's keep going through this. I want to know who Todd Boast, but what's his name?
And they have sometimes a warm-up performer or warm-up band before the big performance.
Généralement, ils ont le lever des rideaux et puis la star va venir après.
Look at this. He has an hour-long sermon translated to French. And that thing was in French. The obituary was in French. Shock OP. Welcome, Brenda DJ. Thank you for joining today. What is with this? Why is he putting his shit in French? His lectures. This is 2022. Look at behind him. Vance Boelter. Like, this is weird. Like, how did he get all the money to like buy these trips and go overseas, establish himself, fucking have banners with his name on it and shit? That's weird. Oh, listen what Tim Walz said a week ago.
Chance to kiss a loved one goodbye.
Listen to this.
Donald Trump's modern day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye. Just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared. To be clear, there's no way for us to know whether they were actually criminals or not. It's not hyperbole to say we're not far from a world where anyone could get that knock at a door. And there's no guarantee you'd get your day in court or that you'd ever make it home alive from what...
What the fuck?
whatever corner of the world they stick you in. Now, if Trump and his folks want to come for Minnesotans, we need to make sure that there's a firewall that they have to come through before they get to them.
Oh, did he think that there wouldn't be a problem when you make fucking speeches like this? Wow, I am speechless. I am speechless. Here's more. Look at this. He's got WhatsApp. I'm currently in the Democratic Republic of Congo working on several... Oh, this is what we read off his LinkedIn. Some of our team will be staying a little longer in Washington, D.C. in March when we are back in the U.S. to connect again with the DRC ambassador about how our third trip to the DRC is gone. Everything on schedule and within budget. Hope everyone has been well in all areas. Sincerely, Vance Boelter. Be nice, try it. Thank you for joining today. I appreciate your support. Welcome to the channel. Oh, there's the Red Lion Group. We didn't get to see that. Food production, sales, manufacturing, responsibility. Contact us. This is his website. Look at this. Hey, everyone. This is 1 month ago. I'm looking to get back into the U.S. food industry, and I'm pretty open to positions. Other leadership positions outside the food industry, I'm willing to hear about as well. I have been doing projects in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Central Africa the last 3 years with Red Lion Group. If you hear of any opportunities or just want to catch up, please send me a message. What I'm looking for. I'm looking for Director of Operations, Vice President, General Manager, and President roles. I'm looking for roles in Texas, Minnesota, Florida, and Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, ideally, but would look at other locations if I felt it was a good fit. Thanks, and hope you've been well. That's wild. What is that? Let's see. Do they all say no kings? So weird. I would be wanting to know, do all of the handwritings on these match? Are they all written by the same person? You know? I have questions, y'all. Hit that like button if you have questions, because I got lots of questions. Let's go back to the news and see what's going down here. Let me refresh. Give me a second.
Family, the Hoffman and Hortman families.
Okay, they're still on the press conference. So I think at this point I'm going to wrap it up. Of course, if we hear anything else or if this man is captured, I will come back live. But I have got to get something to eat. I didn't realize it's 7 o'clock already. But you guys hit all notifications on my channel. Subscribe. I will be back at some point tonight regardless. But obviously if something happens with this, I will be there. Thank you, Malicious Intent, for sending me, and Green Eyed PI for sending me this stuff. Everybody, stay safe. Stay inside if you're in that area. Be careful. Don't go near these rallies, riots, protests, whatever you're calling them. Just stay away. Stay home. Join me tonight. We'll be nice and cozy in our houses. Yes, Mel. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. I got to go get some grub. Thank you for being here. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click. It's real easy, man.